South Central is how far from downtown LA?
Oh, like, I would, depending on traffic, everything's depending on traffic. Like, you could get there in 7 minutes.
It's pretty close.
It's really close. Whenever I'm on the 110 and I see my exit, Slauson, you know how they have the signs that say minutes to downtown?
Yeah.
It always says 5 minutes from, like, the Slauson exit to downtown. I'm sure that's because it's on the freeway, but it's like, it's really close.
It's almost like the most central part of this side then. Because how Silver Lake is kind of 15 minutes away from everything.
Yes.
I guess it's kind of like that.
No, honestly, I genuinely feel like in Clueless how they're like, everything in LA is 15 minutes away, but depending on traffic. I honestly feel like as widespread as LA is, like, you could get to damn near anywhere.
There was a time that you can get anywhere within 15 minutes.
During COVID when there was no traffic. No, there was a time, but it's just been more... No, actually, people are moving out of California.
Oh, I saw a lot of people
But
move out of
traffic still
California during
sucks.
COVID.
Yeah. Because it's getting expensive to live in LA for sure.
It's crazy that we're almost just paying to say we live in LA.
A lot of out of towners, you know, they want to come to LA. Like YouTubers, I feel like now all the YouTubers are coming to LA and
I feel like
to
that's
say
that
that.
move.
No, it's a
pay
bad.
more.
No, yeah. Honestly, I don't see it. All the natives are like, get the fuck out. But yeah, it's just crazy how expensive things are getting now.
God, when I was becoming an adult, it's so funny because when you would go to work and you would get like harassed by men, for example, and they'd like ask me where I'm from, and since I'm from LA, and they would have to like dig in because you know I'm Asian, and we're all perpetually foreigners. We will never be Americans.
Who is a real American?
I don't
like,
know.
Let's talk about that. Like really, who's a true American? Native Americans like that.
Exactly.
Too. Like,
but yeah, there wouldn't be an enough answer for them if I say I'm from LA. But I can't stress enough how I don't have any other home in this country aside from LA. So to me,
yes, this is home.
I am from LA.
You are an Angelino area.
Yeah.
I'm here to tell you that you're an Angelino.
Thank you. What are your favorite areas in LA that you go to aside
Okay,
from
so I honestly used to go to Culver City all the time. Before it is what it is today, no one knew what Culver City was. Like the stairs were not the stairs at all. Like downtown was not downtown. There were not a lot of restaurants. It was just kind of a ghost town, but I liked it because it was like a city near the beach, but not like prissy like the beach city people, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And my grandparents they live in Culver City, they live in the projects, but they live in Culver City, so we would always go over there. And that's kind of where like I would say I always tell people the 3 cities that like molded me are South Central, Culver City, and Mid City, because I went to school like in Mid City area. Bishop, St. Thomas, and like Koreatown, all of that. So those 3 I have the most connection to. So I love those for personal reasons. They're not like for sure Mid City or South Central. It's nothing like aesthetically appealing. Yeah. But just like the food in Koreatown, the food in Mid City, like Dino's, like all the Koreatown restaurants, all the Salvadoran food is bomb. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's mostly the food. If the city has good food, I'm there. Basically.
Oh my gosh, I know what you mean. We are so spoiled with food. Anywhere else you go, it's not the same.
No.
And I feel like that's it's so telling because in LA, we're all from different cultures, but because of the availability and accessibility of good food, for example, from different cultures, there's an entryway for you to understand different cultures.
Oh yeah.
And therefore respect different cultures because you like the
we're
food,
exposed
you like
and
the people.
Yeah, I think I read somewhere that LA has the biggest the biggest population outside of native countries. Like the biggest Mexican population outside of Mexico. The biggest, I think, Salvadoran community outside of El Salvador. And for sure the biggest Filipino community is in LA. I want to say it's the same for Armenians. I don't know how to say that. But because there's so many like different cultures here, like exactly like you said, the fact that we're exposed to so many things, it's like, of course there's New York and like SF and Chicago, but nothing's like LA, you know?
Yeah.
And of course I'm being biased when I say that, but It's true.
When people ask me if I was culture shocked when I came here, and I look back at it, I really was. I thought I was robbed of the American high school experience because I didn't go to a public school. But then I realized as I was growing older that me going to Bishop and me going to an all-girls school, I didn't have room to have a culture shock because everyone was so nice. It was such a close-knit community.
That's the first.
Well,
no. I don't.
Yeah, just in general, it was like, okay.
Yeah, no, there was nothing. Maybe because it wasn't a public school. I don't know. Yeah, everyone, and when people talk about like Bishop or going to an all-girls school, they're always like, oh my God, how was it for you? I'm like, it was cool. It was pretty normal. Like, as creative as I am, I like wearing a uniform. Yeah. Like, I like not caring too much about how I look, because I was around girls. Although that's a little bit like girls. No, yeah, it was like completely normal. Yeah. I didn't feel like I was in this strict, all-girl boarding school that was Catholic or anything. Like, it was cool. And we were like in central LA, so we were still exposed to like everything. And honestly, like it's kind of, so those are the three that like raised me and like molded me who I am. But now as an adult, like I have family in Montebello, so I'm always in like Montebello and friends in Montebello. I have I say this to everyone, it's so crazy to me that there's so many Angelinos that stay within their little bubble. Like South Bay people stay in South Bay. Like East Siders stay in the East Side. West Siders stay on the West Side. And it's like when I tell people, oh, I know that restaurant in El Segundo, or I know that store in like Silver Lake, or I know this and this, they're like, how do you know? Like you, and it's just like, bro, we live in one of the best cities in the world. Like, how are you not going to all these different places? So it's hard for me to say like what cities are my favorite, because it's honestly like every city. Like I literally have a story for like every little community in Los Angeles, and that's dope. You know what I mean? Like
Who are your favorite artists? What inspires you right now?
Oh my God. Okay.
Or somebody before.
That's tough. Okay, because artists, like when I think of art, it's such a broad statement. I have art in my home, as you could see. So when I think of art, I'm thinking of like initially like actual like art, like drawing. Yeah. And honestly, one of my favorite artists is this guy Gustavo, who did the two Fridas, the one on that wall over there, and then this one in the hallway. Yeah. And he paints them with acrylic, and then he obviously like makes prints of them, but his art inspires me so much. I get a lot of inspiration from tattoo artists because I, in another life, want to be a tattoo artist, and I love script. I love like letterheads and people that do really nice script. So I would say Gustavo, a lot of tattoo artists, like for sure Freddie. I'm gonna just name the tattoo artists: Freddie Negretti, Rooster, which I'm so grateful to have been tattooed by both of them. That's awesome. Who else? There's an artist, Kane, who he's really good. He actually did Seven's name. He's so light with his hand. And then that's like for the tattoo art world. And then like, okay, I'm gonna take it back. Obviously like Frida Kahlo. Yeah. Like, who isn't inspired by her? And then let me think. Salvador Dali. Like all of those artists are like really just out of the box, like, huge. Yeah. And then lately, because I've been doing nails, I've been inspired a lot by like nail artists. Yeah. There's this girl, Nails by Des, I think is her Instagram handle, and she does like actual movie cartoon characters on nails, and they look so cool. They look like stickers. I'm just like, oh my God, how can you do that on such a small space?
I love the merging now of like kind of like graffiti art almost, and painting on nails, because it's such a tiny medium for all of that.
Yes, yeah, it's crazy. There's another artist, Callie. Her name's Michelle. Callie Free Nails. I love her. Actually, these nails are by her, so I got my nails done by her. And then I think her handle is Nails by Kanisha. She's really good. She has like really cool abstract art. Jessica, her abstract and like the things that she comes up with in her mind. I'm like, It needs to be in a gallery, honestly.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of like people that I follow. There's an artist named Tyler. Ceci, do you know his Instagram handle? Tyler DeVea. Yeah, his art is so cool. He does like kind of like collage art, but it's all like very he does it with a lot of like hip hop culture, music culture. It's super cool. Girl, we're gonna go into this. I could go on forever. There's like art Christina Martinez, so true. Her Instagram is so true. She's really good. She does like the flower faces. Yeah, she's pretty good.
So how do you keep up with like updating yourself with new artists, new art?
I think I had to give Doug his credit for all of the tattoo artists because I got into that world because of him. So with that, it's all thanks to him, and we would always go to tattoo conventions and shows and like, meet these artists, and like people would sell their prints, so we would always buy prints, and you just learn, you know, in going to these places who they are. But and then nails, I'm into it because that's what I'm doing now. But like other art, I feel like you can attest to this. You're creative. Like we're always inspired by like, especially now with social media, we have that access to see them and to explore, like live in their world a little bit. So if I find one artist I like, then it's gonna pop up other people that are similar, and you just like go into this rabbit hole of just finding all these creative people and these amazing artists, and going to like local art galleries, or you just find these people, and it's just like, oh my god, you guys are amazing. They deserve their work needs to be put on display. I feel like for so many of these people, and it's like you're so talented, and like
COVID really made me appreciate art so much because it is the only medium that humans create to pass on beauty.
Yes.
There's nothing else that way.
Yeah, no. And it's like, as personal as art is, it's so amazing that so many people can relate to it. Because when an artist creates something, you're giving the canvas a piece of you. You know what I mean? And then not that you need validation from other people, but to see the response that it could get or that it has on people, it's like that's how we're all connected.
Because art is art because it's received by somebody. There has to be a feeling, something that's being received.
Yep, that's true. And I also think art, like I said, is like so broad. Like I have a real passion for like ballet dancers and cooking, and I feel like those chefs and like ballet dancers, I'm like, oh my god, you guys are amazing. So it's so cool how broad it could be. You know what I mean? It could be dance, it could be like actual painting, it could be cooking, it could be race car driving, even. You know, like there's an art to all of. Honestly, art is life. No, like
art is life.
It is. It's like it applies to like
even the
everything.
art of living is a real thing.
Girl, write that book. The Art of Living by Eric. No, that's true.
It's true. It is. Like sometimes just choosing your battles throughout the day is art enough.
Yeah, it is.
And you're able to like end up having a good day, and you're like, I did that.
You are your own art.
I painted that myself.
That part.
Well, okay, so you've always been very good at anything artistic. And I wonder, do you just like, I like it, and then you pick it up, and then you're good at it? How do you...
Girl,
because
I'm still trying to find out the answer to that question.
You've always been very good at drawing.
Okay, so drawing, I know I've been drawing my whole life.
Yeah.
And my like moment where I realized that I was good, I remember I was at summer camp, St. Sophia's summer camp in 5th grade or 4th grade. And someone, I want to say it was my grandma, had gifted me like a book on how to draw popular figures. And it was like they had Abraham Lincoln, MLK, like Marilyn Monroe, all these crazy like public figures. And it had a step-by-step guide on like how to draw these people. And when I was at St. Sophia camp, I would always draw these people on my downtime. And one of the counselors saw, and he called the other counselors over, and he was like, oh my god, like look at what she did. And like as a kid, I'm like, oh, I'm just drawing because I just like to draw or whatever. But when I saw him call the counselors and like, oh my god, she draws good, and like, can you believe she did this? She's only 10 years old, blah blah blah. I was like, oh, okay, like maybe I could actually draw good. And then it traveled to like high school and like, oh, can you do the letters for this brochure or this project? Or my sister, can you draw something for my art class project? You know what I mean? Or my brother. And I feel like a lot of it, of course, is inherited. It's not something that, but you do have to practice at it, and you have to do it consistently to better yourself.
Yeah.
But I think my dad is very artistic. My uncles are very artistic. I think I have that somewhere in my DNA because they're just so good at it.
Yeah.
So, and as an artist, you express that through everything, kind of, through your clothes, through your hair, through your makeup sometimes, through your house, your interior. Like, it's a reflection of you in like every aspect. So I think even if you don't draw good and you're like a chef, it affects you one way or another. Or you don't draw necessarily, but you're a fashion designer and you sew really good, you're expected to dress a certain type of way because you're funny, you're creative, you're all of that, you know what I mean? So I think I never really I guess the 5th grade camp story is like my big like awakening moment, but it's just been applied to my life in like every aspect, you know what I mean? So
it's kind of a full circle
it
moment,
is
though, how your first pin is Frida Kahlo.
Look at that. I didn't even realize that. Wow. I forgot about those pins too. Yeah. That's true. Well, I mean, she's so iconic because she's a Mexican woman and she's an artist, and I'm like, okay, that's like, I could see myself in her. You know?
What about her story sticks with you the most?
I think just the fact that she was always off the grain or against the grain, always herself. I do have to mention that she kind of appropriated Oaxacan culture a lot and like took from them and didn't give them credit where it was due. So that part, but again, that kind of surfaced because you're in 2021, and back then, not to give it a pass or an excuse, that wasn't even thought of, you know? Like, so many people have made mistakes in the past that now that we're all kind of like calling each other out on things, like it's being brought up. But she, what I love about her is just how emotional and sensitive and fragile she was, but so strong and independent and like a chingona and just like a badass bitch that like didn't give a fuck about anyone. And she poured her heart and her soul into her art, you know what I mean? And it was like, you could see that. You could see that her relationship with Diego was terrible. He was like everything wrong about men, and not to say men are terrible, but they're not. They are.
I think their default is they are. Like they have to choose not to.
Right.
Their default is they
are. That's another topic of conversation. There's just such a fragile line when you think about Frida Kahlo and like who she is, and I just love her for her art, for her personality, for her sexuality, for her openness, or her decision to wear like masculine suits like in a family portrait. You know what I mean? To date women when it was like so taboo, and like she was very worldly too. I know she's like half German, but she was able to see many places because she wanted to. You know what I mean? And that's not the way a lot of people were back then. I feel like, I don't know, but
I love that you mentioned her strengths, because earlier we were talking about, I think you guys had a friend who said that that boys are raised differently because they're stronger and all this thing. But that's because the strength of women isn't being considered as strong from the men's perspective. Because like Frida, for example.
Yeah, she was a bitch. Or bossy. Or
she just knew what she wanted and what life that she wanted to live.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's so important to have people like her and their stories be told, so women like us know that there is strength in being feminine. There is strength in loving.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And that's why I think she is who she is, because she was so like herself, like unapologetically. And I feel like we're going in the right direction for women and for like the way that we think in general. But it took how long? You know what I mean? Like we're barely scratching the surface of it right now, and hopefully with each generation it can get better and better. And that's why Girl, when I found out I was having a boy, I was like, please, I gotta raise this boy to be like a respect, you know, like just a good stand-up, like a feminist, honestly, and that could be taken however way people want to take it, but at the end of the day, it's just about treating women as your equal.
Yeah,
like that's it.
So how do you impart that knowledge to Seven now?
This is it's hard because I try to let him, whatever he shows interest in, I'm gonna let him do whatever he wants. Yeah. But I'm also gonna like expose him to things that I want him to know about. And the more you shelter a child, I feel like the more they lash out and they want to do things that are not necessarily good or disobey their parents. So I try to channel like an open communication with Seven. I know he's only 2, but like I try to always like let him know that it's okay for him to feel whatever he's feeling, and it's okay to be sensitive. Yeah. Like sometimes when he cries and he acts sad or like kind of not strong or not like a boy, I don't ever want him to feel like he can't cry or ever feel like he can't express himself because he has to be a tough, strong, boy that's gonna grow into be this like tough, strong man. Like you could be tough and you could still cry. Yeah. You know what I mean?
It's not that it's a gender identity thing, but it's always gonna be a part of his life.
Yes.
So why make it a gender thing?
Yeah, that's exactly what it's about. It's not taboo unless someone makes it taboo.
Unless someone makes it taboo, yeah.
So, exactly like you said, like, I'm going to be me. I'm going to do what I want. He's with me 24/7. He's going to, whether people like it or not, he's going to be exposed to, like, girly things. Mm-hmm. And he's going to have to make his own decision. Like, do I like it or not like it? And whatever he chooses is completely fine. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah, it's fine.
I know this. He's a grown man, and he doesn't know how to do laundry, so he has his wife do it for him. And it's like stuff like that.
So like, no. Are you with your wife or are you with your mother? No, like, and that's something so basic. Like, every person should know how to do their laundry. I'm sorry, like, we're in 2021.
There's no excuse.
No. Does this? I'm just kidding. I'm just playing. No, he does his laundry. Rarely, but he does.
I feel like that's one of the things that we have to accept, that we have to be reminders.
Right. And actually, like, I don't mind so much that whole role, like the housewife role. Yeah. I don't mind doing it. I don't mind cooking or like doing laundry or doing the dishes or being like, taking care of Seven or being work from home, stay-at-home mom. As long as you let me be the creative, badass, workaholic type of like independent creative person too. I think it's just balance, you know what I mean?
You know what I learned? That comes from a lot of self-confidence. Mm-hmm. I think you are so aware and confident about your own femininity and what you bring to the table, whether that's in the household or even like the businesses that you have. Yeah. You're just confident. So you won't let whatever other people think mess with your flow.
It took a lot. Thank you. I mean, with everything in life and as we age, like, of course it takes so much self-work and like you have to reach this point. But I promise you, I tell you, when I hit 30 and like now at my age and my skin and everything I'm doing, I am so almost overly confident with like everything about myself and who I am. And that's not to say that like I don't think I have room to grow. Like, of course there are things that I don't know. There are things that I could be better about and like learn from and all of that. But who I am today took a lot of work and sacrifices and just everything, you know. And like because of that, I'm so proud of me. And like everyone should be proud of themselves for even if you're not where you are in life. And I'm not making as much money as I am now. But what does that
even mean, though? Where is that destination? I don't think that's a real thing.
It's constant. It's constant. It's every day. It's day to day. Every day. It's constant. There's the destination is a journey. Like, that's what it is. You know what I mean? Like, it's this construct of like, oh, I gotta reach here. When you reach there, you're gonna want to reach something else.
You get smarter. You learn from your mistakes. You're gonna want something better. By the time you get there.
Yeah, as you should. You should always want better. But it's also like, just be okay with where you're at, you know, and it's easier said than done. I know, like, people, go through things and, like, we're not faced with the same opportunities as other people, but everyone is where they're at today because of the decisions they made, and, like, good or bad, like, learn from it, grow from it, own it, accept it, and be proud of it.
I was just talking to a friend about that yesterday, about how everything that happened in your life is the reason why you made it to this point. You have those understandings now because of the experiences that you experienced. Whether it was good or bad, it allowed you to get to this moment where you can put two and two together in a unique way that other people won't be able to see because you experienced it.
Yep. Like you said, art, like how art is life.
Yeah.
Like, yes.
That's what that is.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's exactly what that is. Yeah.
And I say that because the way that you live your life is
living
life like art.
Yeah.
Because the way that you go with the flow in your life, you're not only trying to stay above water, you go after thriving all the time. Not just like, okay, I'm gonna survive this.
No. And I owe a lot of that to Seven too, because if I didn't have him, I would probably be like, okay, well, this is it, and this is what I'm gonna do, and always want better, but never like really push myself. But I have to, I have to make it work, and thankfully, like, I have my family here. I have a partner who supports me financially, emotionally, whenever I need him to. But at the root of it all is myself. You know what I mean? Like when Snoop Dogg said, like, I want to thank myself. That's real. Like, we really need to thank ourselves.
And
like,
we really are our biggest enemies too.
That's
because
true.
I had this realization recently that you can do anything you want. Only you can make it happen, though.
Yep. Only you can make it happen.
We can like blame everyone, blame our circumstances, blame what happened. That's why I'm not there, because this didn't happen to me.
Find a way.
You can make it happen. You can make it happen.
Yeah.
Anything.
Yeah.
The power of the mind is pretty crazy.
Yeah. Tapping into that whole like psychological. It's game changer.
That's why I call you the queen of presents. Because you're so present all the time.
Thank you. I try to be. Yeah, and like I said, it takes a lot of work too. And as terrible as social media is, a lot of it, I have to thank social media for, like, oh, I see these people, like, talk about being present and being mindful and being the best version of themselves, like manifesting. All of that, like, trendy stuff. Yeah. It's very good. It's very good in a lot of ways. Yeah, there is some truth to it. So I actually haven't gone to therapy, and I know if everyone needs therapy, it's nothing to look down on. Everyone needs therapy, and I know that if and when the day that comes that I do take or have therapy, I'll unlock a whole new layer of myself. Yes. And it's just like so much like unraveling and like discovering of self that I can't wait for. And it's just always about being willing to grow and elevate. And it doesn't even have to be in the way that society thinks you're growing and elevating. You know what I mean?
Well, I love how like connected what we're talking about and what we were talking about earlier, because I feel like the moment you accept that you don't know shit.
Yes.
Is the moment that you're gonna free yourself from the constraints of society's expectations from you. Yeah. Because then you're just entering the world in a space of, I'm gonna learn. I'm here to learn. Yes. So I can keep growing.
Yes. That part. Yeah. None of us really know shit, but willing, willing and always,
And therapy is one of those moments where you accept that, oh, I think I could need that extra help to help me unravel these feelings and thoughts and
all of that.
Because I started therapy in the pandemic, and it's been really nice. Yeah. Just to have somebody to talk to. Yeah. Who's neutral.
Give you tools and unbiased.
Exactly.
Give you tools on how to like process your thoughts, your emotions, like everything. So
I had a breakthrough the other week because I remember thinking, like, I was so frustrated, and I was like, I wish my therapist would just give me the technique to get rid of this unhappiness or whatever. And then immediately I realized I'm waiting. I'm waiting for someone. I'm waiting for someone to fix this. That's not how it's gonna work.
And that's what therapy made you realize.
That's what too, right? So it was like, okay. And I told her my therapist this, and she's like, I'm glad that you realized that.
Yeah, that part. Yeah, it's a beautiful thing.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful. It really is. It really is. Yeah. It's been eye-opening the last few months. Like I said, like not having any other choice but to sit with yourself and really like how do I want to live my life? Because you have to do that every day, day to day. And I always say this, that I am like, the way that I'm building my life is, this is my bare minimum.
Mm-hmm.
So if I'm gonna let anybody in, whether that's romantic or even like close friendships, like you have to like add value to this because I'm maintaining this. I'm working really hard to maintain this.
Yes. Yeah.
You can't take out from it. Just add or maintain.
That's how everyone should approach like relationships with themselves and the relationships they expect from other people. Yeah, that's a good
yes.
Mm-hmm.
And you mentioned earlier too that you owe it to yourself, and that's such a real feeling when there are things happening in your life and you're just like, no, but I owe it to me because I already gotten this far. So I have to see this through and see what happens.
You have to, and a lot of people take it like, oh, you're being selfish or you're being this.
I battled with that for a while.
I battled with it too still, because sometimes my confidence or my like go with the flow attitude can come off as she doesn't care, she's just looking out for herself. And it's really like, no, I'm just so at peace with like myself and like everything that I'm not gonna let that affect this or my work that I
choose peace all the time.
I choose peace, happiness, love, you know, as cliche as that is, like you have to, sometimes you have to, and I have to on my bad days when I'm not feeling good or I'm feeling like undefeated or like sad, lonely, alone, all of that. I have to, like, of course I want to process those feelings and acknowledge those feelings. I can't though when I have 7. I cannot. I want him to see sadness and like be exposed to those things and know that those are human feelings, but I'm not gonna be one to like take it out on him or let him know that my bad day is gonna affect how I treat him or talk to him. You know what I mean? So it really is a choice. Like you really have to wake up and tell yourself like, okay, as bad as everything may be going personally or in the world or through whatever, I have to want to be happy. I have to want to be okay. I have to want to be better, and I'm gonna choose to do that. You know what I mean? So
how did 7 change the way that you see yourself in terms of you as a growing adult also? Like you're also just developing as a person.
As a mother, you learn things on the go, and everything that everything that I thought I would be or I thought I would do kind of just flew out the window. You know what I mean? And he's taught me patience for sure. He's shown me he is the reason why I am so confident. He showed me that I could do XYZ and still be his source of happiness. Right? This isn't gonna last forever, this little bond that we have. He's gonna go through his teenage phase and he's gonna go through his adulthood and he's gonna go on and marry or be single or do whatever and like not be part of my everyday life. But right now, I'm his source of happiness, and like that brings me so much joy, and that makes me want to be better because he's happy with me, and I want to be happy with him. You know what I mean?
That's unconditional love.
It's unconditional,
That's really
girl.
unconditional
it's so
love.
Crazy. And he's like made me feel like a superwoman. Honestly, like
I bet.
Girl, when I became a mother, I was like, wow, we owe our moms or whoever raised us, we owe them the world.
Oh my God, me and my mom's relationship changed when I became an adult. I was closer to my dad than I was with her when I was younger.
Same.
But then when I became an adult and I started becoming a woman, I started realizing that, holy shit, she went through a lot.
Yes, girl.
And I started seeing her as a human being, not as my mom.
Oh, girl, yeah. You have a different set of glasses on when you become a woman and an adult.
The glass case that you put them in shatters.
Yes, exactly.
They become just like you. I realized you're just human like me.
Yes, yeah. It's crazy because you do always see your parents a certain way growing up, and same. Like I grew up a daddy's girl, and I was always like clashing with my mom.
Yeah.
Little typical teenage arguments, you know what I mean? But like as I lived on my own and like now that I am a mom, I'm like, damn, like you really went through everything I went through, probably times 10 because you didn't have the resources or you didn't have the support that I have, the technology, the anything. So I'm just the epidural even. But still, I'm just like, damn, women are just like we're it. We are it.
it trips me out. Like, the whole story of Serena Williams winning her last match, pregnant, right? That really opened my eyes that women can do anything.
Yeah.
While they're profusely bleeding and when they're pregnant. Yeah. So we are better.
Creating life. No, it's not even a question. Like, that's not even yeah. We are better.
That's why it's called Mother Nature.
Yeah.
Someone giving life.
Yes. I feel like a lot of mothers in older generations didn't get to do that. Mm-hmm. And it was kind of looked at as a weakness, like, oh, you're feeling depression, you're feeling stressed, you're feeling overwhelmed. Deal with it and keep it pushing because you're a mom. And it's really like, no, we're really going through some things, you know what I mean? And like, as I say this all the time, and I say this to a lot of men because a lot of men don't understand, as common as motherhood is, it's still very lonely.
Yeah.
And yeah, there's like, we all came from a woman, we all have moms, but like, yeah, a lot of women experience motherhood, but we feel alone so many times.
Yeah.
And we feel like there are days where we feel like we can't make it, we can't do it, but it's good now that we have that open communication in the motherhood community. And I've found so many like support groups or like websites, just a community of moms that really know how to like cope with what they're feeling and express it and feel supported.
Yeah.
And that's all I'm trying to do. I'm trying to keep it real in every single aspect of my life, and motherhood is just an extension of that, you know?
I love that. The art of living again.
Seriously,
I really sense such a strong alignment in your life. Is that on purpose? Do you meditate? Do you do that? Is that something that you build for?
I've dabbed into meditation. I haven't mastered it the way I want to. I don't know what to credit because I don't have any one specific tool that has helped me. I feel like I take from a lot of different things. I take from like my family. I take from my support that I have with my friends. I take from my movies, not like books, like just things that I know that'll help me. Mm-hmm. And I just try to piece it together to make it work for myself. I don't have a concrete answer. I have the mental state that I am now is a product of myself putting the work in. And I take from different outlets, and I try to better myself with what I have. And at the end of the day, I'm just like product of immigrant family. I'm just grateful. Yeah. I'm just humbled and grateful for everything that I do have. And being grateful could change your outlook on a lot of things. Yes. Because you're grateful, you appreciate things more.
You see it half full all the time.
Yes. I always choose to see it half full, and that's what it is.
So what would you tell your younger self?
Oh my God. What would I tell my younger self? I feel like a lot of us would tell our younger selves like not to worry about societal expectations. I would say you're gonna be hit hard with life, but I promise you'll be okay. You know what I mean? Yeah. And you're gonna feel fulfilled and happy and loved and appreciated for being yourself, and that's it. And being apologetically yourself, and you don't need to do anything extra other than being yourself. And the people that are in your life and love you and support you are gonna love you and support you because of who you are. And take everything that you've learned and apply it to motivate and inspire someone else. Use it to motivate and inspire Ceci, Isaiah, your son, friends. Just everyone can learn from someone, and you have a lot to offer, so own it and make sure that people hear you and people see you.
I love that.
Okay. Or I'm gonna cry.
What's the one thing that, if there's one thing that you wish Seven or Ceci or Isaiah would learn from you, what's that?
I wish they would learn I wish that they would learn how to cope and be okay with who they are. Because
because at the end of the day, that is, your relationship with yourself is most important, and you have to love yourself wholeheartedly, as cliche and as hard as that is. It's the goddamn truth. Like, if you don't love every inch and every ounce of yourself, then you're gonna spend the rest of your life trying to fill that void with other people or other substances or other things that may be a distraction. But at the end of the day, I just want them to be so comfortable with themselves and so happy with themselves and proud of who they are.
Yeah.
Good or bad or whatever expectations I have of them or my family has of them, just be happy with yourself. Be nice and do smart things, but at the end of the day, like, just be yourself.
I love that. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you. Ace, be nice. Ace, come here. Hey, come on.
Let me put my
Ace, sit. Okay, now do this.